Hey guys, it's Maddie, and today I'm going to be telling a few stories about my dog. Now, I don't know if you know this, but huskies are really like hyper, and they like run everywhere. Like, they need like to walk and stuff. And now my dog, he is also husky, so well, Alaskan Malamute, basically the same type of breed, you know. So yeah, and it proved to be like a really bad thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the stories. So now the first ever time that my dog ran away, I was at my old house, and basically what happened is I'm pretty sure somebody let him outside, and it was like nighttime, so it was like all dark. Basically somebody let him out and it was nighttime, and then we couldn't find him. So we ended up like running like up and down the street looking for him. We ended up going into our cars and like driving around, and we could not find him anywhere. I remember at one point I even like walked into like the living room, and I like had like my like lucky like necklace or whatever, and I was holding it in my pocket, and I'm like, please, like, help us find this dog. It's been hours, we can't find him. But the funny thing is, we ended up like walking, like I'm the one who actually like found him that one time. So we ended up walking like past the neighbor's house, and they like little deck, and when I looked there, my dog Blizzard was just sitting there. My dog Blizzard was sitting there, and he was just like all huddled up, and he was like cold because he was like a puppy at that time. He was like huddled up on the doorstep, just like cold, and because of the light, like his like paleness like kind of like brightened. And when I saw him, I was like, oh my goodness, there he is. And then yeah, so that was lucky that we found him again. Now the next notable time that I lost him was when I was living here, actually, like 2 summers ago, I want to say. But anywho, again, same thing always happens. Somebody let him out and he ended up running. But this time, it was in the summertime, which, by the way, well, almost summer basically, because like school was almost out. But I was wearing like jeans, like heavy jeans, and like a shirt. And in like summer, like, you know, like it's way too hot to be like running around in that, and that's what I had to do. So like, I remember he like took off. So me and my mom I started chasing him. I saw him like running down the road, and the sun's like in my eyes. I'm like sweating profusely, and I'm just like running out like, Blizzard, like, come back. Oh my gosh. He just kept running, and then because there's like a hill like in between like my side of the road and the other side, so of course he has to run up that hill. And so I'm like running up after him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to keep an eye on this dog or else I'm never gonna see him again, or something. Like, oh my gosh. So like I ran up, and he's like running all around in somebody else's yard, and like nobody was home. But if they were home, they'd be like, what the heck is going on? So he's like running around, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like run to him. But you know, because he's a dog and he likes to play games, if you run towards him, he'll run away faster. So I was like trying to creep up on him without him seeing, but still having him in my eyesight. I was like so frustrated because he wasn't close to me. Yeah, so he does that, and I'm thinking, okay, it's like fine. And then he takes off again. So he's like going off to like another like house and stuff, and then he runs into another person's yard, and they must have had a kid or something, because they had like swings everywhere and everything. He's just running around sniffing everything. I was like emerged through the bushes. I'm like looking at him, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, what are you doing? And of course he runs again, and instead he like, now at this point, so there's like a road that's connected to my road. It's like this, and he was like in this area. So he runs over there, he runs out of that house, and he runs across the road into somebody else's house. But luckily for me, they had fencing. They had gates and fencing. So as he ran in, I was like, oh hey, you think you're smart, but you're not smart. I'm smarter than you, dog. So I run in with him, and I like closed the fence, and then I like ran into other and closed the fence again, and then I quickly ran all the way back to tell my mom what I did, and then we got him, and then we got home. Now there was this also other time that he ran away. I'm pretty sure it was before the story I just said. But yeah, basically what happened then is, instead of running that way, like, you can't like see what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. Instead of running the way he ran that time, he ran in a different direction. First he ran to my friend's house, like in her like yard, obviously. And he like runs in there, and I'm like running over. I'm like, nobody's home, so nobody here can help me. Why is nobody ever home here when this happens? And so he's like running around in their yard, and I'm like, okay, just hope he doesn't go into the woods. So at this point, after we come out from like my neighbor's house, he goes, and there's like kind of like a highway type area. I mean, it's like busier than my road, but it's like not as busy as highway. Basically, he starts running that way, and he starts tearing through like people's yards whom I didn't even know, and there was like this like dip, you know. So I saw him down there, and so I like started chasing him that way. But like of course he ran away from me. And these people I never even met before. I never even knew their houses. Like, I never seen their backyards. Like, other people, like, I've seen their backyards, you know, but, like, these people, like, I've never even associated with them at all. So I'm, like, chasing after him. And, of course, he keeps running away from me. He ended up running through 5 people's houses before we managed to get to him. And, like, and even after those 5 houses, he also started running down the side of the road that I just told you about. Like galloping. And there were like a line of cars. There were like 4 cars that just slowed down because he was just maniacally running around like down there, and they were scared of hitting him, which I'm glad they were, because he's alive now and he's like in my mom's room, and I'm so glad that we found him in all of those situations. So yeah. With that, thank you for watching this video, and if you like me, then like me or the video. If you like the video too. Yeah. Subscribe if you want to. More videos every Wednesday, and thank you for watching, and bye.